Worst places to die in space, and we got all these right here. I ain't got nothing else to say, bro. Renee reacts in this build.
Mars. Mars is the most habitable planet in the solar system, besides Earth. On a summer day near the equator, temperatures can reach a comfortable 68 degrees Fahrenheit. You could walk around, check things out, and honestly feel pretty okay. But the air is 95% carbon dioxide, so one breath without your helmet, and you'd be out in seconds.
Damn.
Radiation is 40 to 50 times higher than on Earth, enough to damage your DNA every hour you're outside.
Damn.
And even though it's freezing, the air pressure is so low that any crack in your suit would cause the liquids in your body to start boiling. Mars also has dust storms that can cover the entire planet for weeks. NASA's Opportunity rover was killed by one in 2018.
The smallest crack in the fluids in my body will boil. I'm never going on Mars now. Congratulations. Now,
its solar panels buried under dust until the power ran out. For a human relying on those same panels, that means no heating, and temperatures drop to minus 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Oxygen filters stop working too, so now you're in a freezing dark habitat, breathing air that's slowly getting worse, with the nearest help 7 months away. The moon. The moon is Earth's closest neighbor.
7 months is crazy.
About
7 months is crazy, I ain't gonna lie to you.
40,000 miles away. There's no atmosphere, so temperatures swing from around 260 degrees Fahrenheit during the day to minus 280 at night. But the real threat on the moon isn't the temperature, it's the dust. Billions of years of tiny space rocks smashing into the surface have ground it into a fine powder made of microscopic glass shards. Unlike sand on Earth, which gets worn smooth by wind and water, lunar dust has never been smoothed down. The particles are so small they can pass through most filters. It also sticks to everything it touches, including your suit, helmet, and gear. During the Apollo missions, just 3 days of moonwalks were enough to almost lock up the suit joints. And every time the astronauts
y'all ever be asking, like, how these people be knowing the shit that they know? Like, how do you know that, like... And the thing about, like, I know, like, NASA and them, they say they have, like, some... I forgot what the name was, but they have, like, some thing, satellite thing that's, like, going out in outer space. And I'm just like, bro, if... Why are y'all able to still... How are y'all even able to still connect to that thing? If it's that far away, how do y'all have connection to that shit? You know what I mean? Like, how do y'all not lose connection to that shit? My Bluetooth headphones, I walk away like 0.1 miles, 0.2 miles, not even that, and they start fucking up. You tell them, but these niggas got a shit.
They brought the dust with them. They said it smelled
this thing is like a billion light years away, and these niggas still watching it.
It tears through your lung tissue like ground up broken glass, scarring it a little more with every breath. Over time, your lungs slowly lose the ability to take in oxygen. Saturn. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system, and before you even get close to it, you have to deal with its rings. They're made of billions of chunks of ice and rock,
if I went under
some as small as a grain of dust. Others the size of a house. These chunks move at up to 45,000 miles per hour, and any one of them hitting your ship would be enough to destroy it. If you make it past the rings, the planet itself isn't any safer. Saturn's atmosphere is mostly hydrogen and helium, with no solid surface underneath. At the top, temperatures drop to minus 418 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh my God!
As you fall deeper, winds pick up to around 1,100 miles per hour, roughly 5 times stronger than the most powerful hurricanes on Earth. Enough to throw your spacecraft completely out of control. Below that, the pressure keeps building. The gases around you get thicker and thicker until they turn into liquid. Your ship and suit would be crushed long before you ever reach the core, where temperatures hit around 21,000 degrees.
Yeah, it's GG's. Yeah, it's GG's, my nigga. Like, it's a gas giant. There's no, like, you're just gonna be flying through it. Like, let's say none of this affected you. You really are just gonna be just flying in Saturn, because, like, there's no real surface. From what I know, it's a gas giant, so that means there's no surface. You're just gonna be flying in gas.
It's Fahrenheit.
Forever.
HD 189733b. HD 189733b is a gas giant.
Why can't I see real pictures? Like, how do y'all? Can I see real pictures of these? Like, HD 189733b. Like, can I see actual pictures of these? Cause I'm just like, how do you know any of this? 9733 733b. I want to see an actual picture of this shit. Like, real picture, cause whatever, man. I don't know which one of these are like the actual picture, or if these are just like made. But you know what? This is for entertainment, man. Who really gives a fuck?
From Earth, slightly larger than Jupiter. From a distance, it looks bright blue, almost exactly like our own planet. But that color has nothing to do with water. It comes from tiny particles of glass floating in the atmosphere. The planet is tidally locked, meaning one side always faces its star. On that side, temperatures reach around 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to turn rock into gas. As that gas rises and cools, it hardens into tiny glass shards that get caught in winds, blowing up to 5,400 miles per hour, about 7 times the speed of sound. So instead of rain falling down like on Earth, HD 189733b has glass flying at you sideways at over a mile per second. At those speeds, the shards would tear through your spacesuit and your body in seconds. These winds circle the entire planet, so there's no calm spot to fly toward. And since it's a gas giant, there's no solid surface to land on either. The Oort cloud. The Oort cloud.
See, that don't even. This is not even a planet, though.
No solid surface to land on either.
I didn't say planets.
The Oort cloud.
The Oort cloud. Look at that shit.
The Oort cloud is the farthest edge of our solar system, a huge shell of icy objects starting about 2,000 times farther from the sun than Earth. Out here, the sun looks like just another star. Temperatures sit close to minus 450 degrees Fahrenheit, just above absolute zero, the coldest anything can possibly get. But the real problem isn't the cold, it's the emptiness. There are no planets, moons, or landmarks anywhere nearby.
How would you
just a few chunks of ice spread across trillions.
How do you the Oort cloud? Okay, can I see a picture of the Oort cloud? Because my thing is like, if these things are real and that thing is really out there looking at all these things that they say they are, then they should be real pictures of this. I shouldn't be looking at like AI generated shit. Like I should be literally looking at that. You know what I mean? I mean, they probably wouldn't release it, but then why wouldn't they release it? Why wouldn't they release it? And how is this nigga showing me pictures of it? How it looks? Or
millions of miles of dark, silent space. Voyager 1, the farthest object humans have ever launched, has been traveling over 47 years and still hasn't reached it. At its current speed, it would take about 300 more years just to get to the inner edge. If your ship broke down out here, no one could get to you. No distress signal would arrive in time.
How do
You'd just
y'all
be
know
stuck
what
with
it
whatever
looks
food,
like, or
water, and oxygen you had left.
How do y'all
Watching
even
it
know
all
it exists if
slowly
you
run
haven't
out.
even seen
Nothing
it
out
yet?
here kills you fast.
Am I no, I'm not tripping. Like how do you know how it looks like and you haven't been out there? How are you even able to call it the Oort cloud? You've never seen it. Y'all had to seen it. Y'all just bro, what?
Most likely die of suffocation once the oxygen was gone. Enceladus. Enceladus is one of Saturn's moons, only about 314 miles across, small enough to fit inside the state of Texas. The surface is covered in ice at around minus 330 degrees Fahrenheit, and there's no real atmosphere.
I just realized 314, yeah, that is. Texas is huge. A moon smaller than Texas is crazy. A moon smaller than Texas?
So your suit is the only thing keeping you alive. Saturn's gravity constantly pulls and squeezes this tiny moon, which causes cracks in the surface, especially near the South Pole. Through those cracks, huge geysers blast ice and gas into space. The gravity here is so weak that some of this stuff drifts far enough to become part of Saturn's rings. These geysers aren't just ice and water vapor, though. Scientists have found hydrogen cyanide in the mix, the same chemical used in poison gas. If one of those blasts hit you, the gas alone would kill you within a minute. And if it didn't, the wave of freezing material would lock your body in ice almost instantly. At that point, the same weak gravity that sends geyser material into Saturn's rings could do the same to you. A supernova. A supernova is what happens when a massive star runs out of fuel and explodes. In just a few seconds, it can release more energy than our sun will produce in its entire 10 billion year lifetime.
What the fuck?
That energy comes out as a blast of radiation and high-speed particles, with the gamma rays and X-rays traveling at the speed of light. That's what makes it so dangerous. Because that radiation moves at the speed of light, there's no way to see it coming. By the time you could detect it, it's already hitting you. Within a few light years of the explosion, it would break apart every atom in your body almost instantly. Nothing we know of is thick enough to block it. Even farther out, the damage is huge. Up to about 50 light years away, a supernova can destroy a planet's ozone layer and flood the surface with enough radiation to cause mass extinction. Some scientists think this actually happened on...
I hope that sun just keep going. I just hope it keep going. And when it eventually does explode, because I mean everything comes to an end, y'all realize, like, if y'all really think about it, Earth will end at some point. Like all these planets at some point will cease to exist. Because if that sun blows up, it's over for everyone. Like, it's over for any creature that lives on any other planet. It's done. Every planet's fucked. Like, and I just hope I'm not alive to see that. I'm gonna be real. I hope I'm not alive when that happens. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to see that. But then it just begs the differ, like, where do you go when you pass? Alright. See, I'm getting too deep into shit.
On Earth about 450 million years ago, wiping out around 85% of all marine life. Titan. Titan is Saturn's largest moon and the only moon in the solar system with a thick atmosphere. It's bigger than Mercury, and in a lot of ways looks surprisingly like Earth. It has clouds, rain, rivers, lakes, and even shorelines, but none of it is water. The rain is liquid methane, and the lakes and rivers are filled with it too. The temperature sits at around minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit, which is cold enough to make methane behave the way water does here on Earth. The atmosphere is mostly nitrogen, similar to Earth's. The pressure is about 1.5 times what you'd feel at sea level, so you could walk around without a pressurized suit, but the cold would kill you in minutes without heavy thermal protection. Liquid methane is also about half the density of water, so if you fell into one of Titan's lakes, you wouldn't float. You'd sink straight down and freeze solid within seconds. And because of the thick orange haze in the atmosphere, you can't see the sun, Saturn, or anything above you from the surface. The sun. The sun is a ball of plasma, about 864,000 miles across.
You're just gonna burn. You're just gonna burn before you even get to the sun.
For 100 times the diameter of Earth, there's no solid ground to stand on. What looks like a surface is just the very outside layer of plasma. Before you even got close, you'd have to pass through the corona, a layer of gas that reaches around 3.6 million degrees Fahrenheit.
Of course you're gonna die. It's corona. We're not even gonna go there, but you know what I mean.
Hotter than the surface. NASA's Parker Solar Probe got within about 4 million miles in 2024, the closest any spacecraft has ever been. The surface sits at around 10,000 degrees. NASA's Parker Solar Probe got within about 4 million miles in 2024, the closest any spacecraft has ever been. The surface sits at around 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to boil pretty much anything, including diamond. The gravity is about 28 times stronger than Earth's. But the heat would kill you long before that mattered. Your spacesuit would start to char within a tenth of a millisecond. Within half a millisecond, boiling plasma would hit your body. By 10 milliseconds, your flesh, bones, and suit would all be turned to gas. Your nerves can't send pain signals that fast, so you'd be gone before your brain knew something was wrong. Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, about 89,000 miles across, over 11 times wider than Earth. It's a gas giant, so there's no solid surface, just layers of gas that get thicker.
Imagine if we could live on. Imagine if Jupiter just wasn't another useless gas giant, and we could actually live on Jupiter. Imagine we could live on Jupiter. 89,000, bro. Shit.
As you go down. But before you even enter the atmosphere, the radiation is already a problem. Jupiter's magnetic field is about 20,000 times stronger than Earth's, trapping enough radiation to give you a deadly dose from 186,000 miles away. Your electronics would stop working, and your organs would start failing soon after. If you somehow made it into the atmosphere, you'd hit winds up to 400 miles per hour strong enough to rip your ship apart, and lightning bolts wider than Earth that could fry everything inside.
Wider than Earth? This nigga just said lightning bolts wider than Earth. You talking about Earth lightning bolts, right? You're talking about Earth lightning bolts. Because the way he said it, he made it sound like the lightning bolts themselves are thicker than the planet of Earth. I'm about to say, wait, hold on, what?
Enough to rip your ship apart, and lightning bolts wider than Earth that could fry everything inside it.
Yeah, but
the gravity
he wouldn't know that
is 2.4
anyway.
times stronger, so you'd be falling fast with nothing to land on. NASA's Galileo probe made it about 87 miles in and lasted 58 minutes before the pressure and heat destroyed it. Below that, the gas slowly thickens into liquid
footage?
and eventually into liquid metal.
Why can't we see this shit? Like, why are you keeping this a secret? Like, this is not no redacted information, bro. If this nigga's telling me all this shit, then I wish I could just see these. I wish I could find these videos of this thing floating around, seeing all these planets. I just wish I could. I don't see why you would want to keep that redacted unless it's fake. But I'm gonna entertain it because I like astrology. I like planets and shit. I've always.
You'd be crushed and cooked long before reaching the core. A magnetar. A magnetar is a type of neutron star, the leftover core of a massive star that exploded. It's only about 12 miles across, but so dense that a single teaspoon of its material would weigh about 5.5 billion tons.
Damn!
Its magnetic field is up to a quadrillion, or 1,000 trillion times stronger than Earth's, making it the strongest magnetic force in the known universe. That kind of force changes the shape of your atoms. From thousands of miles away, the field would already fry every piece of electronics on your ship. At about 600 miles, it's strong enough to squeeze the normally round atoms in your body into long, thin, needle-like shapes.
No.
Once that happens, the bonds that hold your molecules together stop working. Everything in your body, from your DNA down to individual cells, falls apart at once, and nothing visibly touches you the entire time. There's no material that can block a magnetic field this strong. In 2004, a magnetar called SGR 180620 released a burst that stripped atoms apart in Earth's upper atmosphere from 50,000 light-years away.
Excuse
Venus. Venus is often called Earth's
what?
0620 released a burst that stripped atoms apart in Earth's upper atmosphere from 50,000 light-years away.
So since 2004, we've had less protection, is what you're telling me. And this shit hit you. How long is a light year, though? How long is a light year? I like, y'all niggas be saying that shit, and I never knew what that shit meant. A light year is the distance traveled in 1 year. Light moves at a speed of about 299,792 kilometers per second, which is 186,282 miles per second. In 1 year, light travels approximately 5.88 trillion miles, or 9.46 trillion kilometers for the European niggas. Wow. Light years are commonly used in astronomy to measure vast distances between stars. For example, whatever the fuck that Proxima, whatever, the closest star to Earth is about 4.24 light years away. So you're basically telling me that shit is like 600,000 miles away. Or am I reading that wrong? Light moves at it, man, it don't matter, bro.
Venus.
Venus
is often called Earth's twin because of its similar size and gravity, but the surface is nothing like Earth's. The temperature sits at around 860 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than Mercury, even though Venus is nearly twice as far from the sun. That's because the atmosphere is 96% carbon dioxide, which traps heat so well that it doesn't matter whether you're on the day side or the night side. The air pressure is about 92 times what you'd feel at sea level on Earth, the same as being about 3,000 feet underwater. The air is so thick that just moving through it would feel like pushing through a heavy liquid. That pressure would start crushing your suit almost instantly. At the same time, the heat would be cooking through it from the outside. And the clouds above you are made of sulfuric acid, which would eat through whatever was left.
No.
The Soviet Venera
Acid
13
rain.
probe was built to survive these conditions and lasted just 127 minutes. A human in a regular spacesuit wouldn't last a single breath. Io. Io is one of Jupiter's moons.
What the fuck is that?
Wouldn't last a single breath. Io. Io.
Is that an actual picture? That shit don't look right, bro. What is it? That shit look like a disease. That shit look like what gonorrhea looks like or some shit. Like, if you could zoom in on the cells of like a disease or some shit, it would look like this. The fuck?
Is one of Jupiter's moons.
I wouldn't even
want
to touch that shit.
Moon.
That shit look
It's
rotten.
the most volcanically active place in the solar system, with over 400 active volcanoes across its surface. Some of them erupt lava at around 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than any volcano on modern Earth, and launch plumes over 300 miles into space. The lava is also loaded with sulfur compounds that would eat through a spacesuit on contact. The reason for all this activity is Jupiter. Its massive gravity constantly pulls and stretches Io, warping the surface by as much as 330 feet with every 42-hour orbit. That's enough to crack the ground open beneath your feet without warning. Some of the lava lakes are over 100.
I completely missed
Jupiter. Its massive gravity constantly pulls and stretches Io, warping the surface by as much as 330 feet with every 42-hour orbit. That's enough to crack the ground open beneath your feet without warning. Some of the lava lakes are over 100 miles wide. On top of that, Io sits inside Jupiter.
Wait, 100 miles wide?
Jupiter's radiation belts.
We got
which
lucky
deliver
with
about
Earth.
5 times the lethal radiation dose for a human every 24 hours. So even if the volcanoes didn't get you, and the ground didn't split open beneath you, the radiation would. There's no atmosphere to protect you from any of it.
That's what that's what I'm hearing. I know about Europa.
About the size of Earth's moon. The surface is a shell of ice, roughly 10 to 15 miles thick, covered in cracks from the constant pull of Jupiter's gravity. Underneath that ice is a liquid saltwater ocean that could be up to 60 miles deep. The surface temperature sits at around...
Wait, so how deep is Earth's oceans?
Minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit.
And we haven't even discovered all of that.
Beneath you and you fell through, you drop into a pitch black ocean with no way to tell which direction is up. The water is near freezing, and the ice above you is miles thick, so no radio signal could get through.
No shit,
No one on the surface could reach you, and no technology exists that could drill through that much ice fast enough to help. In water that cold, you'd stay conscious for a few minutes before drowning. Your body would never be recovered. Scientists also believe this ocean could support life, meaning a human body down there could contaminate the only other ocean in the solar system that might have something living in it. A black hole.
Oh,
a black hole is what's left behind.
Oh, come on now. A black hole? Really? Nigga, a black hole just defies everything. A black hole is literally like when like if you break the rules of physics, you get a black hole. So like nigga, look at this shit. Imagine we look up one day and there's a black hole. You could only pray that shit just passes by and doesn't fuck anything up. Because if that thing swallows a planet or something, it's over, bro. It's over.
When a massive star collapses in on itself, its gravity is so strong that nothing can escape it, not even light.
Yep.
The point where escape becomes impossible is called the event horizon. What kills you is the difference in gravity between one end of your body and the other. As you get closer, the pull on your feet becomes so much stronger than the pull on your head that your body starts to stretch. Scientists call this spaghettification. The force would pull your spine apart and tear through your muscles until your body snapped at the midsection. Then each half would snap again and again until you were stretched into a thin stream of atoms, spiraling into the center. For a distant observer watching you fall, something strange would happen. Your image would appear to slow down near the event horizon, eventually seeming to freeze there. Over time, your light would shift from visible to infrared to radio waves, slowly fading but never fully disappearing. If you'd like to see more videos like this...
Man, that shit crazy. The most brutal factory accidents ever. God motherfucking damn. Well, anyway, bro, I'm gonna leave a like for the boy. What's his name? Simple Paint. Shout out to Simple Paint. I'm gonna leave the video down in the description below. Now, of course, the chances of any of this ever happening to y'all is 0 because no one's going into space. And if we did go to space, I wouldn't be going to the fucking sun. Okay, I definitely wouldn't go to a black hole. I don't even know, like, it don't matter, bro, because like the common denominator in all these is just radiation and temperature. Shit is 3 billion degrees, and then on the other side is negative 6 billion degrees. And bro, come on now. I'm glad we on Earth, but shit, bro, I'm gonna talk to y'all niggas, all right?